Here.
Steve.
Yes.
David.
Here.
David Reed.
Here.
Thomas Morris.
Here.
Roy, yeah. Liz is not here right now. Murphy.
Here.
Chris. Here. Okay, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll move. Support.
We did remind me under new business, we'd like to add one item, the 2026 meeting schedule.
Oh. Okay.
So. Both on that.
Yeah, new business, very good.
2026 meeting schedules, it should be pretty.
Yep.
Forward unless we want to change something, but
I'll move.
still work. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we have a note taker?
Oh. So on that one, did you get that, Steve? Move second. Okay, this is a time in the agenda for public comment. Public's allowed to speak to parks, pathways, and preserves for up to 3 minutes. No one's in the room. Chris, is there anyone online that has their hand up, but to speak at this point?
I don't see anybody online.
Okay, we do have public comment at the end too. Okay, moving on to item E, approval of the minutes, approval of the October meeting minutes.
They looked fabulous. I'll move. I'll support it.
Any other further discussion on the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carried. Thank you, Thomas, for doing that.
Yes, fantastic. They were wonderful. Yes, seriously, even as pro temp.
Be fine if you just said adequate.
Well, all right then. You are absolutely adequate, sir.
All right, on item F, regular reports and special reports. Township parks. Murphy?
Hey, so I have a few things to outline. As you guys know, we're gonna talk about later. We're in the thick of the CIP and capital or the budgeting process. So if you have recommendations tonight for capital plan, definitely want to talk about that up to Friday, which is when the deadline is for me to submit capital plans. So between now and as early Friday as possible, if you have ideas, email that to me so I can include it in our plan. If you're going to suggest a capital plan between now and then, please have a ballpark figure. That way, you know, we can incorporate it if it's appropriate. Township Hall Park Playground Phase 2 is basically done as of today. The only thing left are the 2 net climb structures, and they ran into the same problem we did, which is it is delayed. So the slides in, yeah. I've already gone down it. It's great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I confirm that she went down, yes.
I had my coat on and it got
Okay.
really dirty, so. Oh.
But now it's clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for cleaning it.
Yeah, all right.
There are 2 letter things, two net climb structures, yeah, they're coming in. The trees will be installed next week, and then the sod will be installed in the early spring / mid-spring of next year.
Are those trees including the ones that we requested, the other trees for the shade in the sandbox, or
Yes.
those are separate?
That's included.
Okay, perfect,
Yep.
great, great.
Working with Dan on phase 3 for the past couple of weeks, we're mostly focusing on whether or not we'd be able to have a water play feature and still stay under the $50,000 budget. If it gets to the point where we're getting one feature for 50,000, I think we should probably look at whether or not that's the feature we want. The water play is really cool. We can do a lot of neat stuff with it. But we reached out to the permit department at the Water Resource Commission, and they are against our initial idea, which was a shallow well. So if we want to do it, it has to be an officially dug well that gets tested every year for water drinkability.
Sure.
essentially.
Yeah, I can imagine that might.
So we're gonna look at whether or not it's prohibitively costly.
The water feature out there would be, water would be supplied by a well.
Yeah,
It has to be done.
yes.
But if we had a water feature out there and if we had a well, then other things could happen
Have a
too.
drinking
So
fountain.
that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
And I think that it might be something that we should very much consider.
yeah, I agree.
That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I like that. Coordination with OHM and LJ is going on because we are able to basically do a change order, which will encompass the construction for the Park Road parking lot, and they just finished the repair on Zebra Road pathway. There was just an area that was falling in, filling with water and then icing over in the winter. So they've already fixed that as part of their change order for our original contract. So things are moving along. It makes it really easy and straightforward. We hosted, Chris and I and OHM and the road commission hosted the public meeting for Zebra Road Pathway Phase 5. Feels so short now. On October 30th, there was a modest turnout, but the residents that showed up were engaged and asked a lot of really good questions. You were there.
Roy was there.
Oh, okay. Roy was there. Okay.
Be there.
We're still on track for construction to begin next year. We're working on the change from the pavilion to the gazebo in Township Hall Park, collaborating with OHM right now to figure out what the cost will look like, even though we're using the prefab option. So we want them to do like the concrete slab that it's on, and then maybe like a little pathway leading up to it. So it's not just like a worn dirt pathway up to the gazebo. That'll be in the capital plan. Lots of work being done at the wooded area of Five Oaks Preserve. Invasive species removal has been going on since it's a really high quality spot. So we're just like going really hard on it until the staff are done. And they did the burn break out in the woods about 15 feet in from the prairie because we are having a prescribed fire there fall this year, date to be finalized, but Dave Borneman's gonna be the one conducting that. Roy and I checked out the proposed Van Curler walking path connection from the Huron Clinton Metro Parks. It looks good. I think we're just in the final phase of them saying yay or nay. And then we'll be able to move on that. And this week we are piloting a bird safe windows initiative since we're having an increase in like bird strikes on some of our larger unscreened windows. So there's that. And on the agenda tonight for the board is the park staff proposal where we're proposing 2 permanent full-time field staff. The Connecting Communities matching grant is also on there. And then in consent, we have the park signage contract with Carlisle Wortman. So I'll be working with them more closely to develop all the designs for all of the preserves for improved signage.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Signage internal to the park, you're saying? Not the sign that's out in front, but the signage.
The
internal.
navigational signage.
Gotcha,
Yeah. All right,
On the other side.
there's 2,
Oh, there are, okay, okay.
but I'm done now.
I have a question for you,
Yes,
if I may.
yes.
I was asked by one of the board members, why is the parks responsible for a sidewalk?
The sidewalks.
That's connecting communities thing is a sidewalk.
No, it's a pathway. It will be the standardized. It'll be the same width as the
I
zebra
understand.
path.
I was on
Oh, but where we have a crosswalk, we have to have a sidewalk. Is that,
Correct.
that part.
so
had to-
this is for the pathway part, but not,
Not the crossing part.
The crossing, it is, so
Oh,
it's
it
gonna taper. It'll be majority pathway tapering into the connection to the sidewalk that already exists. And then it'll taper down to be the crossing point from Lodi Township, I think.
Okay.
So it'll
Great.
basically, it'll be a
Pittsfield.
path.
Yeah.
Pittsfield Township,
Pittsfield.
thank you.
Well, they'll ask you that.
Okay, because I think even in our original grant request, it was pathway, right?
I hope so.
Specifically said,
For a pathway.
we can't use the word sidewalk.
Correct.
Use the word either
I
trail or-
read use sidewalk erroneously, but it is the pathway. Please use pathway.
Yes.
I think it is.
Okay, thank you, Murphy.
Yes.
Any update on planning? About land preservation, Liz?
I will just give one update. Last month, we recommended that the board approve funds to purchase property adjoining one of our existing parks. And the board has approved that, and so that transactions pending will add a few acres to one of our parks. And that's all I have for today.
Which
you say
part?
what park?
We'll tell you that
Once we've signed.
Oh,
after
right.
we've signed everything.
Top secret. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, all right.
Gets out, the price will double.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone from roads, BOT.
I've got a report in there, but, and in my report, I said, hallelujah, we finally hired a finance director.
Oh, good.
Now what we need
She's
is an
awesome.
operations. So, which we
We
haven't
need a
even
what?
started interviewing,
What?
unfortunately.
Operations is what they.
Oh.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as township manager.
Okay, I say that we still looking for a township manager too, but okay, that's the same.
Yeah, they, I
Same.
applied, but the title changed.
Okay. All right,
So she started this Monday, so she's settling in.
okay, well, great news. All right, we'll move on to unfinished business, item G, update on Park Road parking lot.
Okay, I think I kind of touched on that, but just so you know, more of a timeline. We're not gonna be able to start the actual construction until spring of next year. But it is already essentially contracted, so we don't have to go through the bidding process or anything like that. Just when the opportunity presents itself in early spring, LJ will go out and do the construction. What we're gonna talk about is the potential of having like a fence around the parking lot, like,
Split rail.
split rail fence potentially would be an add-on. Just kind of for aesthetics and to outline the boundary.
As a side note, if we need a fence on the newly to be constructed zebra pathway, can we have a split rail fence? Not that horrible, ugly plastic thing that's out there now.
Plastic thing on zebra
The
pathway.
white fence
White.
that goes all the way along.
Along the Wings property and continuing north.
Hmm.
Oh, right on Zeeb Road.
Yeah.
Road,
Mhm.
that fence.
Follows the pathway.
That was supposed to be a wooden, or at least a wooden like fence,
Mhm.
but it turned into this milk carton.
Hmm.
Nothing about recycling milk carton, I'm all for it, but not as a fence on our path.
I don't believe, I mean, at public meeting, I don't remember any fences. I mean, there's would be railings along on the bridge and approaches to the bridge.
Okay,
I don't think there's any fence, but I agree. Split rail fence looks so
I
good.
just want to make sure if we do have a fence,
Fence.
let's have a.
Split rail.
So
Okay.
the fence be, like, we have to have a culvert, is that what you're saying is, and where's the fence gonna be, or is it just gonna be around the parking?
Just around the parking lot, probably along like the west edge and then the north edge of the lot. So it won't be totally surrounded, just kind of like,
Contain,
yeah,
both sides of.
For what purpose? Just for looks?
for aesthetics and, but I think it'll kind of like guide people more towards like where the trailhead is. It'll kind of serve both purposes.
That's what poison ivy.
Yeah, seriously, especially out there. That's all I have.
Okay, how about update on improved navigational signs? I think you sort of touched on that, but I guess you have anything else on that or?
Nope,
Okay,
sorry.
so you covered those two, that's fine. The next,
Actually, sorry, quick question. You're calling it navigational signing, and I understand what that means, but does that also include when you pull into the parking lot and you have your options for whichever trail you're going, the main sign in there that tells you all about the park, is that also what you're calling a navigational sign? And
Yes.
therefore that gets some of the things we've been talking about, attributes to that sign, like whether it's QR codes or maybe Braille or some
Yes.
other thing. Okay, so
Yeah.
a lot of those updates.
We're looking
Okay.
at addressing different what's the word? Perception, ways to
Okay,
interact with the sign.
Okay,
So
good.
Braille,
great.
maybe Spanish, and then I don't remember if it's high contrasting colors for people that have different color blindnesses.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he's really
great.
good at describing those things, and I was like,
so you said Carlisle Wortman hiring?
yes.
Yeah.
So, one question, so on this initial kiosk, whatever sign, he's gonna have the name of the park that they're visiting on it.
Yes.
In that case, should we consider again renaming Marshall before we spend a lot of money on a sign that says Marshall?
I meant to put that in there too, because we're talking about lamplighter naming, so maybe we could talk about both today.
Sure.
Okay. Right.
And one more question about the signage. are we only using QR codes or are we gonna have like, actual map
It'll be a,
of the
so
property?
the first one, like at the entrance, will be like a large one on the four legs that we'll talk about, the map and then some of like the attributes of the park. And then like a you are here and then that. So the QR code will just be like an option. So if while you're walking, you have the scanned one hold up until, especially like Van Curler's the first place we're gonna put them because Carol funded the signs out there. So we're also gonna have ones at both ends and then one in the middle and that area that's kind of, we've gotten like past it and then you just keep doing an infinite loop. So there'll be one out there too. With another option for a QR code, but it'll still be a big physical map.
And will there be one on the Huron River Drive
Yeah.
side of Vancouver?
Yes,
Okay, so it'll be on both ends.
yes,
And the sign will be attached to the kiosk or separate from the kiosk?
separate.
Okay.
And one other thing we were talking about too is possibility of, I'm not quite sure what this would look like, maybe it's a flip map or something of, you know, plants and animals that you would expect to see in this particular preserve or whatever. Is there anything set aside to kind of try to give the public an idea of what to, things you could look for or things that live here or
We're gonna
something?
highlight the like most popular
Yeah,
things
okay. Yeah.
on the actual physical sign, but I think we could still, with the QR code, it would be the map and it could go further and outline some
Yeah.
inventory too.
That would be easier in the long run if people could use the QR code because you could keep updating it on the website.
Yeah.
And have it, yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Or it could be done on the kiosk and do it seasonally, just kind of change it up to freshen it
Yeah.
up.
That's why I'm wondering if there's like a plastic protected flip map kind of thing with pictures and description that might be something that could be updated.
On the sign.
Well, on some type of a Rolodex kind of thing, you know, I'm an old man, so I say Rolodex, but you know, that kind of thing, because not everybody's gonna have a phone necessarily and know how to use a QR code, so. But you know, I suppose we could keep adding and adding and adding to a point where I don't know how much more we're gonna get out of it. But to give people an idea of what they could expect to find, or some of the more popular things, like you said, QR code and maybe a, you know, a 5x5 little spiral bound flip map of something, just
Yeah.
20 or 30 plants and animals on it, you know.
And I like the idea of, and maybe not having it like in a physical flipping version,
Yeah.
but like actually updating the kiosks
Mhm.
seasonally.
Yeah, sure.
Part of the problem with those kiosks, they just get totally ruined because there's no, you know, plastic over them.
Yeah.
So might need to think about correcting that somehow.
Mhm.
Like there are inserts, some do have inserts, some.
I'd love to have like one of those locking, sliding situations. I think that'd be really nice.
Mhm.
But,
At least on one side and then the other side could be,
and then people could add their own things
because
too.
it would be nice to have some things that did you see?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If there was something cool, like if they saw a fox or a fox grab a, you know, or,
Mhm. Oh,
sorry. But you know, just if you see something cool.
Yeah,
Any Rolodex, oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
That seems to me is such an easy target for teenagers to come in and just.
well, okay, sure.
You know, a
Yeah.
great idea.
No, I hear you,
I
but
think it might
again,
be a,
at some point, I
don't wanna
guess,
live like 2 or 3 days.
yeah, well,
Well, I think you talked to Carl, you know, we want, how can we show what you're asking for, you know, like,
yeah,
figure it out, you know, like, get what we like and
Yeah.
figure out.
and once
True.
we have the like initial design, we could go in, I know it's kind of a lot, but like we could go in to the design, well, they could like every 5 years and change it. So we can highlight different features every few years at each preserve.
It maybe it's possible that at some point we could get sophisticated enough where we have maps of all our parks and preserves with all those kind of things that in a spiral brown thing that we sell
Hmm.
at some of our events.
That'd be so cool.
Interesting.
Because I have those for Ann Arbor and for the Huron River watershed and I actually use them.
I'm triptych.
Good, yeah, right.
Remember triptych?
That's kind of that's the word, not Rolodex, but triptych.
Anyway.
It's spiral bound and you can flip through it, yeah,
It could be a fundraiser.
yeah. Good,
We could use it.
Boy,
yeah.
you probably don't even know what that is. do you?
Nope.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to new business. How about we do this? Let's deal with lamplighter rules and 2026 schedule, so those are relatively quick and then come back to the capital. So, and then some people might have to leave before we get through all the capital stuff, so. First one, what we do with a lamplighter parcel naming, and you also said, now we want to add Marshall to that too. So first of all, we do with lamplighter.
Okay, so I meant to put a map and I forgot, so I'm sorry, but there is a dead end road called Lamplighter in Scio Township. Dead ends into kind of like a circle,
A cold,
cold is that.
opposite, is it Maple or Wagner?
Wagner,
Off of
it's
Wagner.
off Wagner.
And it's about 6 acres. Two of the staff members went out there to take a look at it, just to see what kind of condition it was in. It's basically like a forested wetland.
Sorry, Wagner out by Scio, Wagner out by the highway, where on?
Between Miller and here in River Drive.
It's
Oh,
called.
okay.
He goes
Okay,
north, lamplighter is going to the west.
I got you. Thank you.
It's closer.
Yeah,
to
backs up
Okay.
to Mill Creek.
I got you.
Doesn't it touch Mill Creek or somehow?
I think so.
Okay, thanks. I just needed to, okay, I got my mind wrapped around it. Thank you.
Cool.
I went
Um,
there once.
Not Mill Creek.
No.
Honey Creek.
No.
Honey Creek, I mean, yeah, Honey
Honey-
Creek, yeah. Honey
There
Creek.
you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, sorry.
So it's
Yes.
in really good shape. And we would like to put trails in it, open it to the public.
Who owns it?
We do.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I've never heard of
It
that.
sounds like it was acquired in I want to say 2007.
Really?
Does that sound right?
The developer, that area, I don't know what happened, but I don't know if he was forced to or if he donated the property to the township.
Maybe it didn't.
And it's about 6 acres, so it's.
Mhm.
I don't know the history behind
Maybe
it.
it didn't perk. It's a. it's
Could be,
got-
oh, that's probably, yeah, he probably just got rid of it because he couldn't sell it, 'cause
Oh.
he couldn't perk.
'Cause I think it was an LPC acquisition, I think.
Yeah, I
But
remember.
you would have been.
No, it wasn't. Oh,
See, that was long before the LPC.
Oh.
First LPC acquisition, I think, was, well,
So it might have been when lamplighter was developed, back in the 50s, 60s, whatever.
Hmm.
That's an old sub.
Spalding told me, but I can't remember what he said, because that was 25 years ago. I think.
Okay.
So if it's only, what, 6 acres? That might be something too, that might be fun for our group to go out, even one of those. What are we calling them, field days?
Hmm.
And check that out and kind of get some idea of where we might want trails. And what kind of other things we might like to have there. I think because it's back in that neighborhood, it seems like keeping it somewhat low profile. Might be a good idea, but I don't know. I think that would be nice to get our, whoever it can do.
yeah.
do a
There's-
Field day.
And I personally, like the idea of just calling it Lamplighter Preserve.
I think it's a cool name.
I think
it's really
not like
cool
another
name.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
is it a preserve or a park?
It'd
is
be a
the
preserve.
question. It'd be a preserve.
Yeah, cause I'd say, I mean, without doing a better assessment, I can't say for sure, but like, I think it's medium quality. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of invasives in it. So we're also in it at a weird time of the year, but at least in terms of like woody invasives, it seems like it was pretty good shape.
Somebody kind of taking care of it at
I
this
think
point?
so.
Oh,
They
okay.
said that there was no indication that people were using it in any way,
Oh.
no like social trails
Hmm.
or anything like that.
So
How do we
just-
have access to it?
Yeah,
Via Lamplighter.
Yeah,
So is that outlawed on lamplighter or something?
it's just at the end of.
At the end of that, at the very tail end. of
So
the
would we
cul-de-sac.
ever build a parking lot or just something you'd walk to?
I just walk to it, or if you, unless there's no parking signs along there, like, that was kind of the problem with the Knapp preserves, is like. They're just it's streets on all sides, and you just kind of have to find a place nearby to park and walk to it sometimes.
So I guess my question would be, in remembering that a preserve is not as much active use, where a park is active use. And would we ever want to consider making it an active use park because of the neighborhood? No, I can see take one no.
I
And I
don't,
think the neighborhood would appreciate it if we didn't.
because active use is, I mean, we don't consider trails active use, though.
Right.
Okay,
But I'm thinking if it's active use, it could have like basketball net, it could
Wow.
have,
It looks pretty wet.
It's very wet.
So we get a
Goes down
fishing.
to honey.
Maybe,
I'm sure
maybe.
it's David, he could build something on it 50 years ago and that's, he gave it to the township and just sat there because he didn't do much with it.
So it's a place to discover ticks.
Yeah,
Okay,
And mosquitoes.
So you recommend we just keep it Lamplighter Preserve?
preserve.
It's been named Lamplighter Preserve or Park?
Got
Name.
no
It's just a piece
designation.
of land the township has
On
owned.
Lamplighter.
nobody has ever heard of this place ever, so.
I've been there actually.
Oh,
Bob
okay, Rita.
mentioned it years ago and I thought, what? And it's close to my neighborhood. So I just walked over there and like,
Oh,
what is this?
Hmm.
did you like it?
I didn't really go in because I wasn't dressed for ticks.
Gotcha.
But it was just kind of, well, because
That's for ticks.
I didn't see any trails.
Ah,
I think I just didn't go in. I just kind of went, hot, so
That's
That
really
was my
surprising. You'd think the people who live there would have made trails.
I bet there are some in there. It looks
I
like
think
one
they do.
area.
I think they have, looking at the aerial map, you can see evidence that people walk back there.
Sure, they probably walk their dogs back there.
Mhm.
They went-
So do we need a motion to do that?
please.
Is there a motion to name the parcel at the end of Lamplighter Drive or Lamplighter Street? Lamplighter-
Moved.
And I'll
Lamplighter
support
parcel,
that.
Lamplighter Preserve.
Lamplighter
I'll
Preserve.
support.
Yes,
Is there a second?
I'll support, second support. Oh, sorry.
Lots of,
Yeah.
either one,
Liz,
any.
yeah.
Oh, wait, Liz and then.
Well, if I needed, if there's a needs to be a second, I'll second,
David,
yes.
Oh, David,
Okay,
of course you
David
did.
moved,
I had
Yeah.
it a minute ago and then.
Liz
the
second.
argument, and then-
Yeah.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. So,
Discussion.
oh,
How permanent is the name? I mean, if it's kind of a name we're picking quickly, I don't know if there's, what happens if in years from now we decide to honor a war hero or something,
mhm.
has some connection to the area? I mean, is it hard to change the name? Doesn't get. Is that,
Find out a little
Make
bit.
it-
Yeah,
That's our
we'll find
next
out,
step.
Make it
yeah.
decide.
Is there any signage involved in?
that's my question.
New signage for sure, yeah, but those are about 700 to 800, or at least they were when we bought like Township Hall Park and Marshall Park signs. So it's not like a huge expense, but it's not something we would wanna do like every other
Hmm.
year.
And my, my take is that the board is not looking favorably on naming parks or preserves after people.
Mhm.
We can name a trail after a person or a family, but the preserve or the park itself, probably not.
Unless they,
Unless they ask. Then I'm not sure if they're gonna have to do a family search, because you know about the conflict or the issue about the development over off of Liberty, the two names, Shevchenko and something else, were both Nazi sympathizers. And so it's a few years ago, that issue was raised. It's in Ann Arbor, it's not Scio Township. And Ann Arbor dealt with it somehow, but we don't want to have that thing come and bite us in the tush, so to speak.
There are no outstanding natural features that we should consider.
I wouldn't know
Pick
yet.
park.
Oh, you would know.
Pick park.
But if there are, we can always use those to name the trails.
Oh, you
Like
sure,
at Marshall
right, of
Park,
course.
we talked about
The way we
red
did it.
cedar,
Uh-huh.
because that's the most interesting plant that I remember finding there, except for, I
They
think
go-
there was one other, like a black clover. I can't remember. So, but the
Yeah.
red cedar, we thought that would be unique.
Well, the other significant feature in this park is Honey Creek, which, I mean, that's the whole back of it, right?
Yeah, but Honey Creek
Seems
is
like a-
kind of long.
It's like a big name for.
Yeah.
a park.
Yeah, it'd be hard to find, well, at Lamplighter, it's easy to find,
Hmm.
I
It's
think.
more descriptive than Honey Creek, because Honey Creek is a long.
Yeah, right.
And winds through a lot of part of the township, so.
Thing that Lamplighter was a name that Pulte used in at least one subdivision. This doesn't look like a Pulte subdivision, but Pulte, I grew up in a Pulte subdivision, and across the country, I see places where they have Old Coach Court, Candlestick, Lamplighter. They have the same names repeated across the country. And Lamplighter is one of those names, but I don't have an objection to it.
When I looked up slang, the only thing that came up was spies, so there doesn't seem to be anything incredibly derogatory.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Also, it follows our suggestion that we either name them for their location, the family, or some natural feature. So this is location.
Yeah, great.
And then do we want to talk about Marshall? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
We talk about not Dee Dee Marshall.
Right,
Marshall,
Marshall Park, yes.
or will it be Marshall Preserve?
Marshall's gonna be a preserve.
I'm just
Marshall.
asking,
Oh.
because we've just doubled, well, we've doubled the size.
Yeah, double it.
Oh, but that's not.
We're thinking of making it bigger.
You're talking about. Forget that, forget that.
In answer to your earlier question.
You're not talking about Marshall Park at Steve Road.
Yes.
Yes.
You're talking about.
For 5 acre, is it 5 acre or 10 acre?
The new ones.
I'm sorry, no, current one.
Oh, correct.
I don't remember.
5 or 10 acre. So the history on Marshall Park, anyone know the history on it?
Well,
Yeah,
So-
I do, but go ahead.
one thing, when we named it, which I was like, no, because there's a Marshall Park in Ann Arbor. So if I said, hey, meet me at Marshall Park, you know, where's he gonna show up?
I was deep.
So, and Dee Dee Marshall. So, yeah, we had really, some of us had argued for a different name for that because of that, but the location, there was people on this board and the BOT that wanted it Marshall because it was on Marshall Road. So that's how it got its name from what I could tell. And I guess it is a name in the Marshall, because was it D.D. Marshall that this land was owned by?
Down the road, there's a, I don't know, 5 or 6 acre.
But the one that's Marshall Park now, was that owned by also? By
No, it was owned by a real estate, a guy, I know, Barry and I went to visit him in his office. It was, I think one or two fellows owned it. They bought it for speculation and they never did anything with it.
Mhm.
I know Irwin was dead set against buying it because he said useless. And I said, I wanted it because I pressed for it because I thought it would be a great stopping point
As we do be.
along the border.
Sure, and it is, so.
So, and we got it anyway, so, but I don't know, I mean, it's Marshall, it's on Marshall Road, that's how it got the name. I was not on the OPC one.
And just this is a question, if we are to name this park, can we kind of just put the new name over the old sign somehow? Or do we have to start all over again and take out another tree to do it? You know what I mean? 'Cause it's
They
just like a
are-
wooden sign.
I think that those are. So,
Maybe we should call
I
it
don't know.
Marsh Park. Just fill it.
Buckthorn Flats.
No,
Yeah.
it's got a different plant there that's super invasive and I'm not pulling up the name. It's just not
Black
calling to
alder.
me. Yes.
Oh, Black Alder.
yeah, we've been
Well,
killing
that's a
it like
nice name.
crazy.
Black Alder Park.
I mean, if it wasn't awful
No, I think we should
Poison
try
ivy,
that.
there's a fair amount of poison
Uh-huh.
ivy in
If
there
we
too.
could call it that.
and,
Yeah.
and
I'm against
Buckthorn
Poison Ivy
and,
Park. How about Pathway Park?
Let's,
Yeah. It is the only one that I know of that's truly adjacent
Oh,
to
oh,
Seabrook Pathway.
oh, yeah, like the Pathway, wow. Hmm.
But does it
Clarification,
actually
is it a
have-
park or a preserve? It is a park, right?
it's currently designated as a park.
it should be. I
Yeah.
think. It should. I don't see any reason to make it, when I think of a preserve, I think we're trying to preserve something that's, I mean, it's got a features or something that's very nice, but it's not
Or they have some size to it.
I
And
think
we
that-
built 2 pavilions out there, right?
true, but I don't think having a pavilion necessarily means that it's like an active park. And we found when we were doing the frog surveys out there, we did find chorus frogs. So restoring the area, I would like to do some restoration out there. I don't think it's fun to hike through buckthorn forest personally. So we could designate it as a preserve, which would give a little more oomph to the amount of time that we've been spending out there. But we
Because
don't
we're
have,
preserving, it's a habitat for frogs.
it traditionally was very wet. So if we were to kind of rehab it, I think it would make for good, better chorus frog and peeper habitat.
And the front of the property where the path goes through, it looks like it has been, or occasionally is wet every
Yes.
year.
Oh, as a matter of fact, we discussed putting some kind of boardwalks in there because there are areas where you totally get your feet wet.
Mhm.
It's,
Especially through that-
called a wet meadow.
Yeah.
So.
So did you have any suggestions to rename this park for something else? Has anyone?
It's hard to come up with that on the spot.
I know.
Yeah.
Other that,
So I guess maybe what we should do is, does it make sense for us to rename the park? And if yes, we come back in another day, because I would agree, it's like, we haven't really thought about renaming this park, and sort of like, I mean,
With DD Marshall there, makes a lot of sense.
That we renamed the park because we don't want two Marshall homes.
on the same
Three
street.
counting Ann Arbor,
Yeah,
two on the same street.
Okay,
well, we have to, and I support that, but I don't know that we can do it right now, renaming it.
I don't, that's a different matter.
Right.
What is the new name? I don't know. I think.
maybe we come back in a few months and, think if you,
It's just entities
The
to.
sign's already paid, so we have to make it. So we did.
Yep.
We could call it, I was gonna say Peeper Park, but that's not a good.
Oh, boy.
I like spring peepers, but
Yeah.
that could go sideways.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure could.
can we solicit suggestions from LPC, for example? or
Yeah.
something Like that, would that be
Yeah.
okay? And just bring them back in,
Sure.
or, yeah. They may be, some of them will be familiar.
Okay. That sounds great.
Suggestions from the community at large,
Yeah.
voting with both faces.
You
All right.
really want me
Yeah.
to ask the community at large? I
don't
will,
know.
if you
I
really want me
really
to.
like the sound of Black Alder Park. I know they're bad trees, but it just rolls off the tongue.
I like the red cedar part better.
Oh, are there
Because
red
there are
cedars?
red cedars. That's why we wanted to go with red cedar.
That would be, well, that's a suggestion.
Yeah, it
That's
was, that
nice.
was the only redeeming feature that we found back in the day. So we were really pushing for red cedar.
Okay, well, what about Frog Park or Chorus Frog Park, or something about the frogs, or, I don't know. Could be,
So we're debating. We-
There's so
Yes.
much U of
Yeah.
M stuff around here. A Red Cedar Park would be good for Michigan State fans.
yeah.
That's the river that flows through Michigan State.
Oh, okay, yes, that's right.
It's the start of the song, by the banks of Red Cedar. A song, if you go to Michigan State.
More, is there more?
Yeah.
I
Other
know.
horses?
I can sing that whole song, but I know that song.
Right, you're gonna go there now. So I guess we'll just bring it back. I don't think we need an action to bring it back, because I remember.
Put back on unfinished business. That Black Rose Parks Preserves.
So let's move on to rules, for parks and preserves. So we're working on this.
It's. Over the copy.
And this would, obviously, have to go.
Do you have one?
I'll just put it on the computer. So definitely, all of these are still being vetted by the code enforcement officer. And, before any decisions can be made, or before this can become an ordinance, of course, it has to go before the board. But this is something that I've been receiving some public interest from, because there have been people that have been having negative interactions at the preserves. And I had one person who very clearly said, I'm not coming back here because the dogs off leash are a problem and there's no rules to enforce. So until there's rules, I'm not coming back. I had another person say they were not coming back to Liberty Pond because of mountain bikers. And he was like, the idea of mountain bikers and preserves just do not go together. So people just want rules. And the
Should be some
horses
rules.
too, and the horses, yes.
We talked about that years ago and I thought we put them up in some parks, but possibly not. We might have just talked about it.
So I have signs that I had purchased back when, what was his name? Patrick was on the committee and had a friend who had had a negative interaction with horses at Liberty Pond. And that was before I understood what the process was for enforcing or creating rules. So we have signs that say no horses, but no teeth to enforce it because it's not actually official. So it's more of a recommendation at this point.
I think the horses, they use that property.
Yeah.
So you want us to read through these, write
Yeah.
comments?
Yeah, between like now and next time, and just let me
Right.
know your
And
thoughts.
Where'd you get these from, some other?
I combined Nap, Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County Parks, and Huron Clinton Metro Parks rules, and just went through and was like,
Okay, good idea.
Ones that I thought were-
The language looked familiar, so like, yeah.
Could I add one small pet peeve of mine to this?
sure.
I've never been out there doing things without finding golf balls. And that's dangerous to be out there, you're out hiking and people are sinking, going through the woods.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Golf balls, I find them everywhere, in all our parks.
Really?
You should have
I've
a
never
sign
seen
saying putting only.
Well, under prohibited weapons,
Yeah, because anything's like.
Yes.
yeah.
First page, I think.
It's literally.
Where is it? Sworn. Any other page?
So we're gonna come back to this?
Motor vehicles,
Yes, I think some of us first we've seen it, right?
yes.
Including if you have bicycles.
And this will be on the township website, because it can't, right? 'Cause
Yes, it would be an official ordinance.
Okay, oh, I see,
But it's not yet. This is just a rough draft.
yeah, I hear you.
And Keith has a lot of feedback on it too. He was,
This looks like Mariah wrote some of this.
no, well, she did write some for the county, right? No, the Huron Clinton Metro Parks, which are on our ordinance, in our ordinances right now. So I know the first one she wrote for the
No person.
Metro Parks.
Face, or foul, or anyway.
When I read it, I was like, well, you can't say any better than that, so I'm taking it.
Okay,
It's the first occurrence of a foul in this country in this millennium.
okay, so we want us to come back next time with our input, or?
Yes,
And then we'll take it to the board
yes,
to be organized.
organized. Then I can email, just send out a big group email to all those people that have emailed me and say, aha, now we have rules.
So
Please come back.
we'll talk about it in December, but in December, we'll also have to talk about the budget. Is that true? Or is that in January? I know the budget becomes a big,
I think it makes more sense for us to talk about capital projects and budgeting for those than it does like talking about the budget in terms of like fuel and vehicles and tools and stuff like that. So I think we're more like the big picture, like big project, and then the budgeting is more the smaller, like day to day, like,
Reoccurring expenses.
Yeah.
right?
okay, so we can talk about this at our December meeting, about the
Yes.
rules.
yes.
Okay.
The next item was 2026 meeting schedule. We officially met on second Wednesday of the month at 4 to 5:30. Years seems to work with most people. Is there a reason to change that or continue? Is there a reason, I guess, at the township? We still use that same time in 2026?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
sure,
I
that's
think-
totally up to you guys.
And I think what they're asking us to do is look at the, like if there's holidays that fall on those Tuesdays,
Yeah.
or do we need to? So when there's,
So in July 4th sometimes that.
yeah,
Mhm.
do we want to do that now, or do we want to
there's one
just look
vote.
real quick?
But
Just-
July 4th would be the first. It wouldn't be the second.
That's
right.
It'd be the
Right.
First.
Oh,
Maybe,
that's
yeah.
true. So,
That's,
Second Wednesday.
Yeah,
could be Veterans Day next year.
Bird, no. Wasn't it? Is that a bird you just struck?
I don't know.
Could it be Veterans Day next year?
The 11th.
No,
Yeah,
unless
the
there's
11th, right?
Thank goodness.
Uh,
Sorry. You mean like for veterans? It's only Veterans Day.
Murphy, do you know
Got
what,
insurance.
they're putting on the windows for to prevent the birds?
Yes, we're using the little dots that are like equally spaced apart.
Do we have, do you only get those from like Amazon, or can you?
We are getting them from a manufacturer in Canada. Why?
Remember 11th is.
Because I would like to have something like that in my house.
So
Oh, what a bird.
we are getting, so for like $17, you can cover 16 square feet. And I can send you the link to the
I'd be
website.
interested in that too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Send it to
just
you.
sort of making do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Nice.
see, I'm not seeing anything next
Well,
year.
David said Veterans Day next year, November 11th will be today.
Or Wednesday.
Second Wednesday, and that happens to be.
We can't move it up because
Columbus Day.
that'll be election, right, the day after election, so we won't be able to.
Election is the previous,
Oh, it's the
previous
third.
Tuesday.
So we'd have to move it up to the,
We either have it the
Third.
10th, which would be a Tuesday, or the 18th, which would be the following, the third Wednesday.
So,
any preference?
Well, no, let's not do it Tuesday,
Tuesday.
because that would be also on the board of trustees
Yeah.
meeting.
so it looks like it would affect, isn't the, no, the
Board is meeting.
Oh, we're on Wednesday, I see, okay, right.
And we could, I mean, I don't mind meeting, but the building is closed. So, and you guys have off. So, Chris. and
On the
Murphy have off.
10th, is that what you're talking about?
No,
Veterans
that's
Day.
All right,
next year.
right. But
think
that
the
falls-
18th would be fine.
I don't have my calendar.
I having a public meeting at a holidays, yeah.
Well, no, that's. Shouldn't do
So I'd say we move it from Tuesday because it could conflict with the BOT. I'd say we just move it to the 18th.
Okay,
that. Okay,
So then there'll only be, it'll be, well, 3 weeks to our next meeting, instead of
Right.
4.
Mhm.
Okay,
So it'll be, we'll continue in the same schedule except for
so
November.
for, okay.
Excuse me.
Do we need a motion on that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We did do a motion
Oh,
to have the same dates for next year, and you would have that same one with the exception of November.
Okay.
So is there a motion to set up the 2026 meeting schedule on the second Wednesday of each month from 4 to 5:30, except November, that'll be moved to the third Wednesday in
so
20.
moved.
Second,
Second Wednesday of the month, except November, which will be the third then,
Right.
due to Veterans Day.
Second.
okay,
Oh.
Tom.
Thomas.
Tom's okay, got this. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hi, Karen. So now we can go back up to the capital project planning, budget discussion. At H. Oh, I guess there's a process.
Okay. So 2 projects I wanted to talk about specifically that we haven't really talked about before. First one is at Liberty Pond towards the north side. It's basically a huge ditch that our trail goes through. And that area, there's a bunch of areas out there that just get so wet, but that is
Wait, which park is this? I'm sorry.
Liberty Pond. So I was working with OHM to figure out if there was a way to either put like a bridge or a culvert in there. And I think the most cost effective and easiest would be to put a culvert in there. And it looks like, just to be safe, we're looking at about 75,000.
It says ditch.
It's big.
This is
you
to
could, like-
drain the path so it's dry, so the water runs in.
It would,
Where does
it would be like, it would be ditch as it is now, and then the culvert, and then we would fill over it, so it'd just be like a flat pathway instead of
Oh.
going in, and then we'd be able to do a little bit of bank remediation on both sides. Because right now, like, it's a decent little like wetland. It's a man-made ditch, it's not protected by eagle or anything, so there's no permitting involved, it's just putting in a culvert and backfilling and grading.
That's better than using the, what's the thing called that you put in wetlands, where you put the board down and put boards across it. What's the name of it?
Punching.
Punching.
You would be walking above the ground, probably about that high.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a deep ditch. I think it's worse.
And it
every
fills
time.
with water, presumably.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right.
Very muddy and nothing really growing.
Yeah.
Around there, so it could use some soil remediation. Anyway.
Yeah,
75K. Culvert.
I know. And then the other one is the bridge over Mill Creek at Sloan. And they're also looking at about 75,000 for that.
So do we own both sides?
We
As a
own
township?
the island.
The island?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not that whole property over there, that part of it's Dexter School or something.
Yes,
Okay.
So we own like the
Yeah.
east side of the main branch of the Huron River.
Uh-huh.
But then you got that little cut off branch of so that's where you're talking about building it over the smaller branch that doesn't always have much water in it. In springtime it does, but yeah.
yes, and
But
where right
other
now
times you
people
can almost
put
walk
like
across.
rocks to cross,
Right.
so we'd be able to
Good.
disperse the rocks and just have a bridge over it.
It's always a significant crossing to go, you really need.
It's hazardous.
Yeah,
So
No, I agree, 100% a bridge makes sense there.
The botanical gardens have really good bridges to look at.
Yeah.
They have one that's almost identical to, I've got pictures on my phone. I probably can take pictures, but they have one area that's almost identical to that spot.
Mhm.
And it's just nothing fancy, but it's a bridge.
And we're making it so that we'd be able to take like our toolcat over, so that we could do restoration over there too, and maintain the trails that we would install.
Is that the math out of that new one that out of wood, the wood bridge you're talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. We will need Eagle for that one, but because we're not putting anything in the river, the creek itself, it makes it way easier.
I'm not gonna touch the water.
Nope, not gonna touch the water, not gonna touch the ground inside the
Just
creek.
makes you gotta span the whole.
What's roughly the distance of that span?
I don't remember.
50, 60 feet?
I think we thought it was about 50,
Okay.
45 and 50.
Okay.
40 or 50 feet.
That island area is unique to our park system. There's not an area like that.
No,
It's
it's
very
really
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah. I'd love to have more people getting over there, so.
Murphy seemed to think we could come in from the north to get there. That was like, one concern I'd had is like, how are you gonna get construction equipment down there
Yeah, so
without
we could work.
tearing
with
out the whole woods, to get a crane down there type thing, and excavators and other equipment to build a bridge. But you seem to think there's a way to get in.
We could get down there via the pipeline easement, as
Okay.
long as we got written permission from that. It's just, it will alter where we would have wanted to have the bridge probably, but I mean, it still makes it easier to walk around. Okay, everybody like those ideas? I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do both of them next year, but because right now the goal is phase 5. So all of our resources are going towards that. We're looking,
Trust.
we set aside last budgeting cycle 1.5 million. So that's just been untouched this year. And probably have to do another like 500,000 set aside for this budget cycle. So we have an even 2 million ready to go. So
Is the Liberty Pond Trail, or the problem area, is it on a loop or is it a dead end area?
it's on a loop.
And it's not possible to just avoid that area and
Mm-mm. And because it's like from the back of Wildwood where there's like that turnaround, if you go down just a little bit, there's a ditch that runs all the way down through the middle of Liberty Pond. Basically all the way to the pond itself, which is why we get that area gets so marshy and mushy, I guess, and wet. So.
So the previous owner dug that ditch.
Mhm.
Oh,
And then even when we owned it, someone from the other side of Wildwood, and like within the last 5 years, built a huge ditch and drained it onto our property. And dug it into our property to put it basically back into Liberty Pond.
And you filled it in, right?
Not yet. 'Cause we didn't know it was there, and then someone almost crashed the toolcat into it, cause it is deep.
Mhm.
It is a true ditch.
Okay,
That's fun.
Did you consider my suggestion about composting toilets and all that?
I haven't yet. I will do that. Been focusing on the gazebo, which is we talked about that at the last meeting. You weren't here. So,
yeah, I saw the pictures. Who you sent Dave, who sent them? Did you send them? Someone sent
I
pictures.
sent pictures.
Okay, I saw a picture somewhere.
Thanks.
oh,
The other one, we talked about when we went out to, what's the trail, at Parker, at Baker Road, what's the new development there?
Heritage Woods, isn't that what Heritage Woods? You're talking about Baker and
Woodview.
and Marshall?
Baker and, Jackson, sorry.
Woodview.
Woodview
Oh,
Common.
Woodview, yeah.
So Woodview Commons built that trail that winds from
Oh.
Jackson all the way back, and we talked about someday connecting that, continuing that connection into, I think all the way over to Park Road or Stabler at some point. Not that I really think we're gonna build that next year, but it seems like we might want to look at least starting the engineering and looking at, how could that connect through to Park Road or
Yeah.
Park Stable Road or whatever we want to get there.
And do you envision it being kind of like our typical trails, or would this be like a pathway situation?
Like, I was thinking more like a soft surface pathway,
Officers.
but I mean, I'm open to, but just,
Chips or
I
gravel?
do gravel, chips, wood chips break down and just,
Can you send me a screen grab of like where exactly you would picture that going? Cause I just don't remember.
Yeah, and we talked about a long time ago where, I mean, basically it could meander all the way to Park Road and Stabler potentially.
Yeah.
Wasn't that part of the development agreement for the?
Well, they built their part,
Oh, okay.
but now it stops there.
Mhm.
So they built and paved it, and that was a part of the development agreement. They did their part. It seems like we should at some point at least start the planning to have that future go down towards, because eventually it could all go to Park and Stabler, which is another trail along Park Road and Stabler roads. Sort of connect the network and, then you eventually could do a walking path, I think, to Liberty Pond and different things. So I can give you a screenshot, I
Right.
guess, maybe we'll just grab a number and say, oh,
Engineering, yeah.
start looking at it in 26, so someday in the future. It could be help.
Okay, sound good.
And did we need to put a number in for Van Curler too?
I already did.
Okay.
Um,
What?
Next
Oh,
year, Hydro Park
yes.
is Van Curler from the south.
50,000?
Sure, I think that's a number.
Oh, really?
I
That's
put
like-
25,000.
Nothing up my sleeve? 50,000.
How much?
25,000.
Oh, really?
Do you think it should be more than that?
No, 25 is fine.
Okay.
Is that including the crosswalk?
But,
On-
Mhm.
and there's not gonna be flashing lights.
That's all right.
That's 100 grand.
And we don't, and you know what, we don't have them at other, I mean, they're, some of the other parks, there's no flashing lights.
I mean, I think you start out with signs and a crosswalk, and then someday it's like, wow, Van Curler is super popular, and it's, because rapid flashing is usually what is pretty popular crossing, not just.
And a much more busy street, because
Hmm.
here on River Drive isn't really that busy.
Relative to, it's not like Z or Baker, exactly.
And they only go 50 or 60 on
Yeah, since it's posted 35, but,
it. Just 35 on that.
so,
And we would have the park entrance signs. 400 feet or 500 feet out, so people know that there's a park entrance and then there's a
go
crosswalk.
over to park, I mean, maybe crosswalk, pedestrian crossing.
So without a parking lot there, I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
Then never let the
No
park.
parking lot. Oh, I see. It is kind of a park entrance, but yeah, I see.
Not really, though.
Not really, okay.
Yeah, I think park entrance would
Would imply there's a
imply
parking
it's
lot.
a
Okay,
parking lot. right?
okay.
So, yeah. Anything else, anyone?
There was a discussion we tabled last time.
I wasn't here, so refresh.
We tabled, we were discussing the deer.
Yeah, deer calling.
The deer code, yes.
Yes.
That was a discussion that called. Now, if we wanted to have some other outside stuff, I've talked a little bit with Allison Kruger, who was at Washtenaw County Parks and Rec, and who manages that for all of Washtenaw County. She says she'd be happy to zoom in and talk to us if we wanted to have questions and stuff about how Washtenaw County is handling.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think from my perspective, until I have a better understanding of what level of support I'm going to get in terms of like staffing, permanent staffing, I I don't think I can take it on after all. I just
This
need
year.
more time. Yeah.
And should we have a more of a discussion about how to cohab with these deer instead of just trying to control the numbers and call?
I think if we were gonna have that discussion, then we should have that discussion.
Yes.
But as of right now, I think it's a moot point because I just genuinely don't have the time to invest in it. If somebody else wants to, if you as a committee want to do more of like the legwork, that's fine with me, but I can't advocate for it at this time.
Yeah, I think,
Good.
to-
Go ahead.
I mean, a lot of our preserves are so small, seems like how would you have an impact? I mean, it's not like we have, what's our largest preserve? Acre lots.
In Kermit.
Yeah, right.
Under 10, I think.
So I guess that's a large, I'm just thinking, most of them thinking our preserves are smaller. So it's like, how do you really, what are you gonna accomplish by?
What would you consider a bigger preserve? What would you consider a preserve worth culling, having that program?
Well, it seems like
30, 50, 100 acres?
100 plus.
Okay.
Cause I think that's what we at Washington County, that the larger, like the ones down near Manchester, sort of larger. But I don't know, I mean,
But
I'm not an expert in this, so I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, yeah.
I'm not either. I'm just a resident who lives in the woods and I see 20, 30, 40 deer will walk or run by my property and I'm 3 acres.
Mhm.
So where they go and how many there are and how big you would have to be to make an impact, I'm not sure that size necessarily matters. I don't go into that. In terms of what kind of traffic and or population. Now, last time we talked about this, you said that DNR and some other folks have obviously done some very in-depth studies about it.
Right.
And I still want to learn more about it before we just say, well, yes or no.
And I have lots of information. I didn't want to, without talking about it, I didn't want to give everybody, I'm happy to provide the links to the DNR publications. I've got, this is Legacy Preserve. This is some of the information about how they do it. I have your Washtenaw County stuff from Leonard Preserve, talking about how they do it there. So I can inundate you with what you got want to read. I have a lot of information. I would just like to read this little piece. I could, thoughtful step. I will read, just take just one moment. Talking about Iron Creek, the incredible biodiversity faces the serious challenge also affecting much of southeast Michigan, an overabundance of deer population. Greater abundance of deer means they'll be browsing more on their favorite diet, native shrubs, saplings, flowering plants, and grasses, combined with increased competition from invasive species, which deer prefer not to eat. Native vegetation is under lots of pressure.
And we live kind of in the same neighborhood, and I can tell you, our neighborhood has a bigger problem than any preserve I've been in.
Yes.
You don't see them, but at my house, it's nothing to have, a dozen deer
Mhm.
round up in the morning.
Yeah.
In the evening.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so there's a problem with the deer population. I've read some interesting facts about, we talked about predators, that it would take, I think in order for predators to make an impact on the number of deer that we have, there would have to be more wolves introduced than there are in the entire United States. A wolf eats on average 20 deer a year. And that's not,
Okay.
So can we get the wolves?
Family.
That's what I vote for.
wonderful. And Michigan is number 2 nationwide in deer automobile collisions.
Deer what?
Deer automobile collisions, that left, let's say 13, 14 deaths in 2003 from deer automobile collisions in the state of Michigan.
People deaths.
People deaths.
Yeah.
People
Many
deaths.
more deer deaths.
Yes.
And actually South Township was the highest.
No, it is. I just want to add, David and I had a conversation with someone before last and who spoke of neighbors feeding the deer. And how the deer would come right up to you because the neighbors were all feeding them and they just thought it was so cute. And I think, and you mentioned the DNR has rules about that. And I think it would benefit, we've created a bit of a problem, as you know, that's my perspective. So it would help for the township to reinforce those DNR rules saying, feeding the deer is not okay. It just creates a bigger problem. First, it's not good for the people or the deer.
Is there any indication in the literature you've reviewed whether reducing the population density also reduces tick-borne disease?
Yes, yeah, because ticks, deer are a big vector for ticks. And so, yeah, I've got a lot of literature on that too, but
Can you email us that?
yeah, I will email you the links to all the PDFs.
Yeah, please. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it until I talked to
Yeah,
everybody, but
thank you, yeah.
I will hit the group list with,
Sure.
with the data that I found, so.
Do we have any data on how many people feed deer and how widespread that is? Long time ago, I fed some deer, but I haven't done it for a long time. And I don't know any of my neighbors that feed deer, but I don't know how many people do that.
If you had a bird feeder, you probably feed the deer.
Well,
Yeah.
we had a problem in our neighborhood. Someone was feeding the deer and, finally, you know, I don't think it's happening anymore. But I do think that out at Park Road, on that backfield, the one that's really landlocked back there, and the neighbors come out, have their own pathways coming out. When I was out there once, I found evidence of, corn put out for the deer. So I think it's something that, as we have more of a parks department, we should find ways to go through and on the edges of things, make sure that we're not having people
Well,
attract them.
now, I don't know about you, but if you're driving by Wing Farms is feeding them inadvertently because they're growing plants, and I always see 20, 30, 40 deer out there.
Oh, yeah,
And there's-
Joy Road, riding my
Yeah.
bike all around those plants. Oh my gosh,
Somebody's trying to grow
there's a
something.
million deer out there.
Probably about to crush all those,
Yeah,
and there'll be hundreds of deers eating all those.
They had, one field was planted in corn and there's always corn left on the ground.
Yep.
After
So,
it's
yeah,
harvested.
but that, yeah,
Right.
But I think when people are, on purpose, absolutely feeding deer,
Right.
that is a problem because they tend to do it every day at the same time. And the deer, you can see them gather up, like they're just waiting for the bus, waiting.
that just brings them into the neighborhood to eat all your flowers that
Right.
you just planted.
But it also makes them,
Right.
you know, you could
Bring
get
them
them.
together to spread the chronic wasting disease.
Anyway, there's a lot of problems.
Yeah,
but so should we get Allison, should we try to get her on board to come and talk to us?
I would be interested in talking to her just to understand more about the subject from someone who's spent a lot of time on it. I mean, I'd be up for that, but
Well, another thing that's been approached to the parks before was allowing hunting on some of the preserves or something. And I'm always like, oh, I don't know if I want to have a hunter in the tree when I'm at a preserve.
We close the preserve.
yeah, you'd have to, yeah.
But I don't know, that's always something too, if you have a hunter that, you know, hunters, because we've been asked that, we've even taken down lots of blinds that were on our property. But that is something too that might be to allow hunting, or at least if it's just for a few weeks or something.
But please do read this Hunting to Iron Creek, because they talk about that exact thing. It's only 2 pages. I will send you this. And so because they came across this same issue, and the way they control it is they say, these are the hours we have hunting and these hours we're not in the park, but it's only in the morning. We're hunting in the morning, rest of the day the park's open to people.
Okay, so it has to be posted.
Has to be
and
posted.
that's-
You
that
have
was-
it posted, and they even have a sample of the sign that they're using up at the front of the park. And if we had the back entrances, goes there, but yeah, this is, none of these are new problems.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
If we are gonna do that, I suggest that we also consult with some other experts, namely Mathi Botanical Gardens.
Yes,
They're-
oh, yeah.
they're Natural areas
yeah,
experts.
There's
To
some great,
see how, because they have various deer mitigation methods in place and they have the same sort of.
Great idea.
well, so yeah, and one of the documents I sent you is from Matt and talking about how when they started doing the deer culling, they started seeing plants again that they hadn't seen in 10 years. That had not flowered, and because they started doing the deer calls. And so that allowed, then there was so much browsing, and the natives managed to grow. So it's great pictures of the 2 environments before and after, and it was an amazing change.
Yeah.
No, but if you could share that, that'd be great.
I'd be happy to.
So it's to like be for, one other item, I did miss last 2 meetings. There was some talk about a shade feature out here.
Yeah, we voted for 2 trees. There was either gonna be a sail built, or we suggested that maybe because the sale has such a cost and some potential maintenance to it, help me if I'm missing something on that. But that we just thought, well, instead of a sale, let's put a couple of trees there to provide the shade. Because we also have tree fund money, I think, that we can use, if I'm not mistaken. And so that was kind of
Okay.
how we came to that. What do you have, what do you
No,
think?
I remember we were talking back and forth, so if you guys have worked it out, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the opportunity to put stuff in
Yeah,
the budget.
right,
Okay.
Well, in the meantime, trees take a minute to grow.
they do.
But I
yeah.
do like what the flyers use out there,
Oh,
which
what's
are
that?
those, it's professional looking, it's. Yeah, it's kind of like a big pop-up, but they, mean, it's, but we wouldn't need that much if we just put it kind of, especially by the sandbox. Because that's where kids are sitting like playing. Is that
So
what we're
got
talking?
a free umbrella from Uline the other day. We bought 2 more benches, so I got this like free beach umbrella that I thought we could find an innovative way to install it, like get just like a PVC pipe, put it in the ground and then just have the umbrella in there
Sure.
during weekdays.
But one of the things we were talking about, maybe it was the last, were, tiny trees, mid-size and 7
They're
gallons or
planting
whatever.
like large trees.
Right, so the shade trees are going to be already, I thought there was something kind of counterintuitive about the larger trees required more maintenance and they could die more easily, but if you get even bigger than that, do those necessarily from the get-go have a better lifespan or a better chance of, oh, they don't, so big trees don't necessarily.
Out here, it's okay
Yeah.
because we have access to water
Yeah,
anytime.
okay.
So really, that's the biggest thing. We need to make sure they're well watered this whole summer.
So to Rita's point, though, if trees take a minute to grow, how many minutes for the size of tree did we actually go for out there? Because I was under the impression it would be not immediately a 50-foot tree, but that it would be a fairly substantial tree to start
Will be a
with. Oh,
substantial tree to
okay,
start.
okay,
So those trees will be on the larger side.
okay,
And then for the tree fund project, those trees are gonna be on the teeny side.
oh,
Because a tree fund project is a ton more trees at a higher expense. Whereas these, the high expense of buying the larger trees is not a risk because we have building staff who can help
Mhm,
maintain the
mhm.
trees. Whereas out there, like watering them is much more
okay,
challenging.
so when you say tree fund, because I thought we were gonna take the 2 trees specifically for shade from the tree fund.
We are.
Oh, okay, but they're going to be substantial even though they are from the tree fund.
Yes.
Okay, make sure we have a delineation. Got it.
And just for clarification, the other trees out here will be larger, medium size, right?
Yeah, all 5 or 7 are gonna be the same size, like medium
Mhm.
size.
Is that 10 feet? Is that 20 feet?
It's like, probably 10-gallon
Okay,
trees.
I don't know. What that means.
Probably about
2-inch DBH.
6-foot tree.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That,
guessing.
I have a better
Right.
understanding of.
Usually about 2-inch caliper, which diameter
Okay.
is usually about
Alright.
as large as a tree you wanna plant, just because, like, I agree, once you
Okay.
try to plant a big tree, the stress and.
Okay,
Well, I
Got
think
it.
this is AI, but, something around that size.
okay,
It's like a 10-gallon tree.
so 6, 8 feet-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
Okay, any other projects, planning, budget discussion?
My only thing would be just if you need extra maps. I mean, that would be I think we have great projects that are already in process. But if you need extra year-round help, that would be my only suggestion. But well, let's get the first, let's get the first 2.
Yes,
And then, if we can,
sky's the limit.
yeah,
Hmm.
right.
So hopefully we'll get to.
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
And we'll also keep the 2 seasonal positions. So I have 2 year round and then 2 March through November.
Yeah.
So it's almost like year round, but then I just don't get any, benefits.
Mhm.
Just.
And that's on the agenda tonight.
You bet.
Okay.
Mhm.
Come voice your support, please. I'm serious.
No, I know,
Please
I
do.
wish I could.
Even if you come in virtually during public comment, just be like, I love this idea.
Should be 4.
It should be.
but I'm not biased.
Okay,
That might be, it feels like it might be a big jump for our community to go, okay, that's just, it's just such a bigger number.
So I've heard you gotta walk before you run.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Does anybody want updates on our capital plans from last year?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so like I said, Z Road Phase 5 is on track. Township Hall Park 2 is basically done. Township Hall Park 3 is in the preliminary stages. The gazebo, as we know, is now back to square one, but working with OHM, so I think we're gonna be able to move that project along faster. These are just capital plans. It doesn't mean it's happening next year. So we have to figure out, based on the cost of Phase 5, what we can actually accomplish this year and how much is gonna have to be pushed maybe 2 years down. The tractor with attachments we got, been making a lot of progress.
Great.
Love that thing. We did sell the Kubota, so that was an influx of cash for the Parks Department. Vehicle storage barn canceled because more departments need space, not just parks. So that's gonna end up probably being a general fund project if it gets done. Park Road parking lot on track for next year to be completed, likely still in this fiscal year.
Which part of it?
Park Road.
Or-
That one's canceled. The Van Curler walking path, I'd say we're on track, in progress. And then the West Scio Preserve reforestation, which is actually the Five Oaks Preserve reforestation project. Site prep is, the initial site prep is done, so we've gone out, brush hogged the whole thing, done some treatment of invasive species. We'll need to do it again in the spring, and then hopefully be ready to plant by next, not 2027 fall, but 2028 fall, because we're gonna be doing a contracted grow with wild type, so it's gonna take some time to get the trees that we want.
I have another capital improvement possible. I don't know if this is a cap. A chipper in the dump truck.
I am working with Brandon right now to split the cost of that, potentially, most likely 2027, 2028.
A chipper, he needs a chipper, he could use a dump
A
truck.
dump truck, yeah, and then the chipper,
Yours.
I think logistically, it's terrible to have to rent it all the time, but I think fiscally, it actually still does make sense for us to just rent.
Rent it for a week and then 2 months later, rent it for a week. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, cause you're gonna create huge piles of slash and then you just gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
You can burn it, but you have to let it sit for a year before you can burn it. and
Yeah.
you don't disturb the neighbors, so. But yeah, okay.
Are there auctions for things like that?
But for a dump truck, we could just chip it into the dump truck. All in all. Yeah.
Haul it to
Just
where you-
wondered, I mean, auctions, that happen all the time. I say it, as if I know that there are dump trucks and chippers, and of course I don't, but I'm just wondering if there are. I don't know, would
It's
we
a little
wanna
complicated.
invest in a used thing or we could?
I think it's a great idea.
Oh, okay.
But we are also limited by the procurement policy, which requires us to get the best deal, which means going with the my deal vendor,
Oh,
which kind of makes it
Huh.
more difficult.
so it's necessary then that we're buying new equipment, is that correct? Okay, all right, well,
I would love to not do that.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have bought a used truck instead of buying a new truck for the Parks Department, but it did not seem like it was something that was actually feasible.
You know, it's up to competitive bidding.
Right.
Because they're all different.
Exactly.
it's already, I mean, the good news is, when you buy a deal, you do get a pretty good price on it, pickup.
Oh,
Something
We
okay.
did, we got a really good deal.
Great.
Something that,
I'm not familiar with it at all, so.
that you can't get, so
Okay,
it's one of those trade-offs,
Yeah.
yeah.
all right.
But you're trying to go to auctions, like, okay,
The dump
No,
truck.
I realize it's a,
Or
Yeah.
estate sales, I mean,
but,
Cause the dump trucks are about 110,000.
That much,
Oh, yeah.
jeez.
But we'd be splitting it likely 50-50 with utilities.
How about a dump trailer?
It's not
That's only
out
about
of
10
the
or
realm
12,
of possibilities, yeah.
Sorry.
about 10 or 12,000.
Cause we just need something that's
Mhm.
deep with a high back, so when you're chipping into it, it's not just spilling onto
Flying.
your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a dump trailer is a lot cheaper.
a dump
Yeah.
trailer, I'm
10
for
or-
that.
I
Yeah.
used 4x8 sheets of plywood to line my trailer when I had a chip.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ooh. Be interesting if we could build a high-sided, like something on 2x4s or
Oh.
4x6s and use our pallet thingy with the tool cat, just take it in and out the back.
If you can make it so you can attach them when you need them, where someone could do it and it's not.
Yeah, but then we couldn't dump it, it's the only,
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't.
well, you could
Shovel.
use a shovel, I mean, that's why we get,
Well,
that's
dump
why we
trailer
get
would
young
dump.
people. So the Parks Department,
no,
they
Yeah.
can
Murphy,
pitchfork everything out.
another thing that we never got around to this year that I know of, maybe I'm wrong, I would like to be wrong, is cleaning up all that stuff in the back of
West
West
Side,
Scio.
yeah.
We were like ready to do this.
Yeah.
Somehow it just got lost.
Great nap job.
In theory, but I mean, as long as you're here in the winter,
Uh-huh.
absolutely,
Yeah.
but it is just poison ivy.
Yeah,
City
right-
out there,
right now.
poison ivy, stinging nettle,
I know.
like,
That's why we were gonna do it early.
And
They
it
went
was all,
out.
yeah, we were gonna do it before all that came
Yeah.
out, but some of it is, it's so buried.
yeah.
So I don't know how we get it out of the ground.
It'd be kind of fun to take the tool cat out there.
Well, it's kind of dangerous though. I mean, it's like metal and, you know.
Glass, yeah.
Yeah,
It's tough.
I hit something with our billy goat that was in the ground out there and it completely destroyed the billy goat. So be good to get some of that stuff out of there.
Oh, can the belly goat be replaced or?
It was repaired, but it was pretty messed up. Because it was a piece of metal, like large metal buried deep in the ground, so when it hit it, the metal didn't move at all.
Yeah, they did. All right, let's, nothing else in new business, let's go to public comment.
Want to say anything, Lauren?
Is there anyone, Chris, online that has their hand raised?
There's their hand raised, but I probably should have mentioned that we do have somebody from OHM if you had any questions. Just probably observing.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So no public comment? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Adjourned at
On favor?
5:23. Had a schedule, how about that?
Aye.
Aye.
All plays aye.
Here's some comments on the rules. Park rules. I think you might find, like